Week 8, boys. Jadakiss, throwback. First weekend of hunting season. Not that I do that, but there we go. That's a prelude to match for the week. Angels team, the champ. All right, let's focus. Week 8. I'm going to get comfy in the recliner. We got a little Mickey Mouse Clubhouse on in the background, just chilling on a Sunday. Watched a little bit of the Chiefs-Lions game this morning over in London for something to do. So quickly, Week 7 recap. Malik just absolutely obliterated Ted. It just wasn't even... It was just poor performance all around from Ted's team. Poor showing. Angell, again, tough loss. You would have beaten 50% of the teams in our league. Unfortunately, you went up against Gerard, who just absolutely... dropped a 170 bomb on you, and there's just, what are you going to do about that? You continue to put up a ton of points and just not catching any breaks. I was able to take down Body by Robbie, which helps out even the playing field a little bit, keeping him closer to 5-2 instead of letting him go to 6-1. Let's see, Max squeaked out a close one against JP. JP, I think, really the Matt Ryan situation. He's the one that let you down. Otherwise, everything else kind of canceled out with Max's team, but Matt Ryan just didn't come through for you. And then Eamon versus Halim, that was just an ugly game all around. I won't talk about that at all. Combined, those teams didn't score more than Gerard, so that's a rough day. Let's see, let's focus here. Drink of the week. I got nothing in my hand right now. I had a little water this morning. I had some Omission IPA and a cider that Ted had bought for me last night, which brings me to my next point. Halloween party last night at the Heckmans. Congratulations on the new place. We had a good time over there. Heckman was in the league last year. So Malik, Ted, Max was dressed as Pikachu last night, made an appearance over there, and Dave. I know you're probably not watching this, but Robbie, you can let him know that we definitely played the game last night. It was a big hit, went well, and Ted is trying to spread that around Portland as much as possible. Girl of the week, as I described last week, more quarterback wives this week, except these are the elite quarterbacks, are Brady, Romo, and Rodgers. I looked up Peyton and Breeze, but it wasn't worth it. So you can argue about Romo being elite, but that's what we're going to leave it at for today. So all the focus this week clearly is on the matchup of the week, which is Ted versus Angell. Obviously, we've been looking forward to this all season because the trash talk comes out a little bit more. The wagers get more intense. So the wager on the table is whoever loses the matchup has to buy the jersey of the player on the opposite team that crushed them the worst. So right now, Ted, 16 points from Pat's D is looking pretty good. Obviously, that won't be the player, and this remains to be seen. But this wager is sanctioned by the commish. This is a live wager. This is just between Ted and Angell, and we will see what happens. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it goes. So let's break down the matchup real quick. I was actually talking to Ted a little bit about this last night. He's a little nervous about Cam. I think I could have talked him into starting Teddy Bridgewater. I don't know. We'll see. So Cam going up against Angels got Rivers. For Ted, Cam Newton, weak Colts defense. They're giving up 280 yards and 1.7 touchdowns per game. Cam is usually good for maybe a rushing touchdown as well. I think he has a reasonable day. Nothing crazy. Definitely better than what Bridgewater is going to do. Maybe 19 points. Rivers is just going off recently. And I think Angell drafted him a little bit later too, so he's getting good value right now. Baltimore actually did a good job holding Carson Palmer to a reasonable amount of fantasy points last week. But since week 2, Phillip Rivers' pass attempts have been going up and up and up and up, and he's just airing it out. He's only had one game with less than 30 pass attempts. In the last 2 games, he's had almost 60 each game. So he's going to be airing it out. He's looking for points, 300 to 400 passing yards, a couple of touchdowns. Big day from Rivers today. Let's go to the running backs. Mark Ingram and McCluster for Ted. I like the Ingram play. Ingram has really proven himself as an RB1 this year, I think. He's averaging 15.8 points a game. The Giants, the last 3 games, have given up 150 yards and 1 touchdown each of those 3 games. So I think Ingram's going to have a nice day. I'm giving him, 14 to 16 fantasy points. McCluster, that's a crowded backfield. You've got Antonio Andrews, Bishop Sankey, McCluster. He's good PPR. He's going to get you 2 or 3 points just from receptions. We'll give him 10 points, but limited upside. On the other hand, Angell probably has the best 1-2 punch in the league running backs with AP and Devonta Freeman. I mean, what more can you say? Devonta Freeman only had 16 points last week, which was a letdown because he was averaging 30 or so. And AP, Bears D, has only given up 2 touchdowns all year, which, really isn't that much. But the secondary is much weaker. Linebackers, running backs, and AP can get to the second level quickly. So if he can break through the front line, I think he can make some moves and, tear a long run today. I'm going to give them 18 points apiece. Angell definitely has a check mark there. Moving down, DeAndre Hopkins and Eric Decker for Ted. Hopkins, number 3 overall wide receiver in fantasy right now, behind Julio and Antonio Brown. Somehow he's only owned in 99.7% of leagues. Why he's unowned in a couple of leagues, I don't understand. Clearly, number 3 overall, so he'll be a stud for you today, Ted. Eric Decker, with the injury, he is going to play. I saw it this morning. I have him on a team in my other league. We're good to go. Giants, third worst, Raiders D is decent, though, against the wide receiver, so don't expect a huge day, but Decker with 8 red zone targets. This is the same as Brandon Marshall, who Angell is playing. So we've got 2 Jets wide receivers, both trying to get points here. Marshall, 8 red zone receptions as well, but 1 less red zone touchdown than Eric Decker, interestingly enough. Decker with 4, Marshall with 3. He's also playing Randall Cobb, Angell is, coming back from a shoulder injury. Now with Devonta Adams back, the wide receiving corps is a little more crowded, and but maybe that means bigger plays for Cobb. I don't know, but he's gotten 45 targets so far, and Cobb has also got 8 red zone targets. So, he's definitely a red zone threat, but there's a lot of receivers there for Rodgers to throw the ball to, and Richard Rodgers, the tight end. So we'll see. Speaking of tight ends, back to Ted's team, Ben Watson. He's really coming into his own here. Been around for a long time, but Drew Brees is starting to utilize him a little bit more. Giants, third worst against the pass for tight ends. I think Watson has a nice day, 12 points. Delaney Walker, another Tennessee Titan, just brutal offense, but he's averaging almost 6 catches a game. So there's 3 points right there. He's an average tight end. He'll get you 50, 60 yards, 4 or 5 balls. And that's going to get you 10 points, and that's nothing wrong with that. He fills the spot there. Flex spot, LaFell already went for Ted, 6.7. A little bit of a disappointment. He had some drops that would have been a little bit better for the Pats, not fantasy speaking. And then Crabtree going for Angell. Solid flex play, going against a tough Jets defense, though. I think his upside is limited, but he still outperforms LaFell, giving him 10 points. Pats defense already went for Ted, 16. It was a great game. I loved watching it. Defense was flying around the ball, made Tannehill, look like a 5th grader. Beautiful, beautiful game from the Pats D. Angell's got the Rams D going. Rams D has forced 13 turnovers and 1 touchdown so far this year. They're going against the 49ers. Kaepernick has thrown 5 picks and fumbled once so far this year. So I like the potential for some turnovers here for the Rams D. And it's going to be a slugfest. That's going to favor the Rams D. Kickers, who knows? They're kickers. So at the end of the day, I'm going to tally it up. It's closer than I think what ESPN is projecting it at, but I'm going to have to go with the champ to take it down, to take down Ted today. 126 to 118 is my final tally for the day. And looking through my scores real quickly, I think it's Rivers who absolutely just lights up the fantasy world. 27 to 30 points today. Ted, next time I see you, you'll be wearing a Phillip Rivers jersey, walking around Oldport, drinking beer, and just sulking. If somehow Ted squeaks it out, I would have to say it's probably DeAndre Hopkins would be the player that would really push things over the top. So Angell will be on the lookout for that. But here we go, boys. Week 8. Enjoy the games. I've got to go to Lowe's, Michael's Craft Store, and Sam's. So it's time to roll. Baby's getting fuss. And that's all I got for you. Have a good Sunday, and we'll see you soon.
Took it from crack to rap, now he put out 2 anthems a year, and I just want to rock for a century, and then chase the book with the documentary.